Hey there traders, it's John with TradeWiki. We've covered the Aroon indicator heavily in our last two videos, but before we get started here, make sure that you watch the first two installments of our series with the Aroon indicator. You can start by watching them here. We want to make sure that you fully understand the ins and outs of the Aroon indicator before seeing it in action. And once you're ready, you can come join us here for part 3, which is where we really get into it. What better way to learn how to use the Aroon than by watching someone else trade with it? That is what we're doing right here. So just to recap, let's take a look at how the Aroon indicator is calculated. Remember that it is an oscillator, so it operates within a range of 0 to 100. The Aroon up is calculated like this. 25 minus the period since the 25 period high, multiplied by 100, divided by 25. And the Aroon down is calculated like this. 25 minus the period since the 25 period low, multiplied by 100, divided by 25. Now, what this tells you is that each and every time each segment moves in a certain way, it should trigger entry signals. Here are two of the main points to remember about the Aroon. First off, when the Aroon up is above the Aroon down, it indicates bullish price behavior. Secondly, when the Aroon down is above the Aroon up, it signals bearish price behavior. There are 3 levels to look at with this oscillator on the chart, and that's 0, 50, and 100. These are the thresholds the segments need to cross or get near in order to help you make quick trading decisions. For example, crossovers between the two segments often indicates the direction of a new trending range. Apart from looking at price action itself, the Aroon serves as a second confirmation of the change. While it's best to trade with the Aroon using other tools, let's take a look at what results you can get using it on its own. Alrighty, and before we get started here, I just want to make sure that you guys understand how to set up the Aroon indicator. To do that, you're going to go up to your indicators icon, go down to the Aroon, and 14 periods is going to be just fine. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And there you go. On our 5-minute chart, we have our Aroon indicator. So indicators are often best used on larger time frames and better for day traders and buy and hold strategies. But today I would like to show you how you can use the Aroon while scalping, as scalping works best for video demonstration purposes. Thank you for joining me. It is 9:25 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 21st of September. And we are trading the Euro USD, and we have a 5-minute, 1-minute, and 60-minute chart, 1 hour, all up here. So we are going to be spending most of our time on the 5-minute chart, although we can certainly check our 1-minute chart if we find reason to. But what we want to keep in mind is that the Aroon indicator works best in more mid to long range trading. So we're going to be placing fewer trades at a higher value, and so therefore there will be long periods of inactivity through which I will double the speed, or just cut to make it easier for the audience. So for now, let's take a look at what our price action is doing. The indicator has the Aroon down above the Aroon up, which means we have a bearish price behavior in the market right now. However, we are very likely going to see a crossover coming here shortly, as this downward trajectory is very strong and it's crossed the 50 mark. So let me go ahead and set my stop loss to, let's do 20, take profit at 2, and my gain, because we're placing fewer trades at higher value, I will set mine to $4. There we go. So there are 2 ways you could go from here. In anticipation of the eventual crossover, you could build yourself into some buys, or you could wait for confirmation of that price change. I'm going to wait for confirmation of the price change just because I'm trying to instill in you the quote-unquote orthodox way of using the Aroon indicator.
So we're going to go ahead and hunker down here and wait for confirmation of a price change where you see like here or here, and we'll check in at that point. Alrighty, so we see that confirmation of change. We have the Aroon up above the Aroon down, which indicates a bullish price behavior. So we're going to go ahead and place, let's say, 5 trades, 5 buys at a take profit of 2. There we are. I imagine we'll collect that relatively quickly. So I will not be opposed to building into that a little more and stacking my trades. We'll just see how far we get with this first. All right, this temporary downward pressure, we've seen confirmation of the crossover, but I think this is a good opportunity to build into my trades, so I'm going to place another 5. There we go. Alright, so you've seen a change in the price action where the Aroon down has gone above the Aroon up, meaning that we're going to go back into bearish behavior. It's not the end of the world, it just means we're going to have to wait a little longer for that crossover to happen. And if we look at the indicator's history, we know that that crossover will come. So, important in situations like these is that we don't panic, we just have a little more patience, and we eventually do collect those pips. Alright, so this little bump in pressure is actually saving our skins. I'm going to go ahead and X out of these trades now because I don't want to push my luck. So, we are up 13 pips today, and we are going to continue seeing more downward pressure, I think. We're in parallel action with both falling, so if I set my take profit to 1 and do some more sells, we'll do 5. And then I'm going to do a take profit of 2 and build into some more sells. 2, 3. That ought to do it. Part of why I didn't panic earlier is if we go up to this tool and hit the horizontal line, we can place these as a reminder of this glass ceiling and glass floor. Now, we see the candles haven't broke that glass ceiling, and they haven't broken that glass floor. It's going to take something fairly big. So, if we were to place a sell, for example, and the take profit was below this red line, you would have a more difficult time taking that pip. So if something like that were to happen, you would want to take your take profit and move it above that red line, or below the red line if you're placing a buy. So when we hit this scary price action here, I wasn't terribly worried because I knew that it was probably going to stay within these parameters. However, something will come along eventually and push us out of this zone. However, it's just going to take a little more pressure than what's normal right now. So we're seeing upward pressure here, but the indicator is showing that we're still parallel. And if we take a look, of course, at the general trend, it is extremely downward, not just on the 5-minute chart, but as you can see, the 1-hour chart too. So, we just finished the next one and it's going down again. So this might be a good time to place some more sells. Let's go ahead and do that. I increased the take profit to 3. And as expected, we're seeing a return to downward pressure, which tells you that this upward momentum was probably temporary and a fluke. Alrighty, and you can see a confirmation of this return to a downward trend right here. I expect we'll be taking these profits here sometime before the Aroon up hits the bottom there, and then we'll see a bounce back, and then hopefully an actual crossover this time. When that crossover does happen, I'm not going to toy with fate. I'm going to keep all of my take profits probably relatively short, and I just say that because, again, the trendward has been down, down, down. Alright, as you can see, we ended up taking most of those trades I placed, so we're going to bear with it and wait until the rest of them are collected before determining what to do next. Alrighty, so based on this upward pressure that we've been seeing despite the parallel action with the indicator, I don't feel terribly worried about these sells that I made. Now, what we might see based on this price action is that we are going to have a crossover, in which case we can place more buys, collect some more trades. But again, I'm not terribly worried about these sells that I made because the trajectory is firmly downward. As I said in the beginning, this indicator is primarily useful for mid to long-range trading. So I'm not expecting to collect these pips super fast. All of this is to say, don't worry. Alrighty, we have a crossover. So, as I said, I'm going to be cautious, given the downward trajectory. I'm going to place trades with a 1 take profit. There's 2 buys. We'll make it 3, 4, 5. And we'll keep it there until we see some more movement. There's that upward pressure. And there we have it. There's the collection of our pips. Aha! So we see a return to this parallel action. This is why I was waiting, because while we could still see upward pressure on that up, you don't really see that kind of thing happening. So it's going to be a very safe bet, I think, to build into my downward trades, my sells. I'm going to place more. Building into this position, I think, is going to yield a lot down the line, especially with a confirmation of that downward trajectory. And we're not breaking the glass floor. All we have to do is wait now and then profit. And there you have it. Collected those pips. Now, what we can expect to see is this parallel action hit the bottom, resulting in the Aroon down going above the Aroon up, which of course expresses that we are going to be having some more bearish price behavior. So, I think we're going to get into one more round of trades, and then I think we can call this trading session concluded. I think we'll wait for one more confirmation of price trend before placing our final round of trades. Alrighty, so we've closed out of all of the remaining trades we had lingering on. But like I said, we're going to wait for one more crossover before placing our final round of trades. Alrighty, so we've hit the bottom. We can expect the down to cross the Aroon up. And at that point, we'll place some more sells. And this could be, in fact, what breaks us through the glass floor. Alright, so we see the crossover with the down moving above the up, which of course means bearish price momentum. So, in our last set of trades, I'm going to make 5 sells at 2 each. And as you see, these take profits do not go below our glass floor, which makes it all the more likely that we'll collect these trades. And there we go, guys. Alright, so in one session of trading, we ended up collecting 57.30 pips with a daily return of 1.14. A 1.14% return is pretty darn good. And I mean, this is why I love trading, because where else can you get a 1% return on your money in a little over 60 minutes? So this is by all means a wonderful trading session, and I hope this was useful to you and gave you some really good insight into how to read the Aroon indicator, how to use it effectively, and especially with patience and not trading emotionally. Just having faith that if you're reading the price action right and you're using the indicator correctly, then even if you seemingly get into a pinch, you can come out on top with some patience and confidence in yourself. So thank you very much, and we're going to get back to the video here.
And that's the end of our session. Hopefully this helped clear the air on some of the major talking points related to the Aroon. You can see the results that we have right here. And just to reiterate, let's go over the pros and cons of the Aroon indicator. So first off, if you want to have high quality trade signals, the Aroon indicator is a very good tool to have in your trading arsenal. It can help you to pinpoint areas where you can enter trades, but also it can really help you get out of bad trades if a reversal does occur. Plus, it's also really easy to read and interpret, and its default settings are often more than enough to get you started. One con you might associate with the Aroon, though, is one that's actually common to many indicators, and that is lag. For many different reasons, indicators can often fall behind actual price action when relaying critical market data to the trader. Therefore, when using the Aroon, you want to make sure that it's not the only tool that you're implementing in your strategy. Other indicators, like the HMA, might help you to gain a better understanding of trader sentiment and offer more confirmation of trend reversals or continuations. Many might compare the Aroon to a moving average, which makes the HMA a very good addition to your strategy using the Aroon. And speaking of strategy, it's more useful in a trend-following approach. If you're trading multiple assets at the same time, you can use the Aroon to find correlations between them and determine where the strongest trending range is. So you can use the Aroon to find where to shift your trading attention to. And it can work with pretty much any trading style, whether you're a swing trader or a scalp trader. Thank you for watching. Let us know what results you had using the Aroon indicator, as well as anything that we might have missed. Happy trading, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more videos. If you want to get notified of our next upload, click the bell button. We'll see you again soon.